Okay, so I screwed up beforehand with the recording. I
Hmm.
didn't plug in my media device. There we go. I didn't plug in my flash drive, so now we're actually recording again.
Right.
So I have late night CJ with me. So yeah, we got.
AKA Sweet Daddy in the streets.
So what I just did off screen wasn't really all that significant. I just bought some better defensive equipment for the characters,
Hmm.
and in the previous episode, I bought magic items for each of the characters. So with each of the material, the way have the characters use magic,
Hmm.
it makes them, depending on how it goes, either makes it stronger or weaker, and there's better ways for me to do it. But and
And who do you use?
um, by default, you are in control of Cloud, the main character, for the entire game.
Right.
Well, except for like two sections, but that's part of the story. That's why I say for almost the entire game.
Okay.
And you always have like a wide assortment of characters that you can use with that are part of the main cast. But you cannot switch to them manually. But you can control them manually in battle. It's a pretty weird RPG if you could.
Okay. Definitely old school.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII is an old game. It came out on the original PlayStation.
Uh-huh.
Don't remember what year.
Long time ago.
But yes, the reason I'm playing this game is so that I could like prepare myself for when Final Fantasy Remake comes out.
Right.
So when that happens, yay! If not,
Mm. Right. I got you.
Yep.
Oh, what is his name Barrett or Beret?
Barrett. His name is Barrett.
Okay.
There is one achievement related to him, which is kind of funny,
Mm-hmm.
but you only do it really if you want to get like 100% completion on this game. I don't care for it, but it is funny.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to.
What, this microphone that you're looking
No.
for?
I'm trying to see if this works for me
What, Final Fantasy?
because what I'm having a difficult thing here because like it seems like two different forms of animation. Like you have moving parts. Understand with like stationary now. The stationary is moving.
That's for the backdrop. This
Okay.
is for the typical like area in the game where like it has default art style for some of them, and then you have the characters moving. Someone has modded the game, but I think it's only available on PC or PlayStation, where you could download a texture mod to make the characters look quote unquote like more proportional,
Right.
but they still kind of like move in their default style, which is kind of the problem. But they do like look better.
Okay.
Okay, so right now you have to keep talking to this homeless man
Why?
because he does give you something if you talk to him all 3 times, and it just. I'm just kind of like doing this to talk to the characters. I did not talk to the businessman, which is another character you kind of see a lot in this game.
Yeah, I'm getting the vibe here. I'm getting the vibe.
So,
Uh-oh, what the hell? Who turned the lights on?
ID checkpoint. Because you don't know this, but the characters in this game, they start off as eco-terrorists.
Terror!
Eco.
So they
There's a reason why
Alright.
the big company in this game called Shinra, they are essentially sucking the lifeblood out of the planet. And if they keep doing it over and over, the planet's eventually just gonna crumble away and die.
Well, clearly these people aren't regular people. They don't have a nose.
Like I said, it has 2 different styles of animation. Okay, so like I said, you go back here, talk to the homeless man, and he gives you a phoenix sound, which is just like a better revive. So what you want to do in this situation is that you just want to hurry up and get to the next train car without it messing up for you.
Right.
Because the further you get down into this, technically like the further you get down the path,
Right.
and you technically get like more relationship points with the characters.
Alright.
But it's safe you get kicked out of the first car without doing anything. You can get an item. Uh-oh.
Oh, whatever.
Okay, you want to talk to this guy, and you want to talk back to him, because he took something from you. Hey.
Oh, you stole from me?
Yeah.
You can't fight? What we doing?
I can. But it doesn't matter to me.
First of all, was that a drunk man laid out on the floor, or did somebody get knocked out?
Probably both.
Aha!
Here's the thing. You always have a limited time limits.
Okay.
So you have
unlimited or limited?
Limited.
Okay.
Like, it shows right there in the corner for
right.
most of them. Like, oh, you have 15 seconds. You have 18
right.
seconds. So you have to do this in a way. And you can talk to characters in like this if you want to. There's no
we ain't
point.
got no time. We are eco-terrorists. We on a time limit. We gotta blow stuff up, kill people.
No, here's the thing. They, despite the fact that they're eco-terrorists, they're only going after the company.
Oh, they're like, I don't want to say the word because you get flagged, and all of a sudden the FBI is like, excuse me, Mega Zero, and sweet daddy. And I'll be like, you gotta say, in the streets. We like to talk to you about something that you uploaded there, sir.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they only go after the big company characters. They don't deliberately, like, no. They're like, no, you're in the way now. We gotta stop you. It's like, they always give the people like the chance, like, hey, you can back off if you want.
So
but...
we were talking about food. They go after McDonald's, not Frosty King or Shaker Buns or something. They don't go after those guys. They go after the big dogs.
Like I said, you have the company that's, like I said, destroying the planet. But here's the thing. For each of these sections right here, you can go back. I'm just going to use this to speed it up because we actually do take quite a trip back. I'm only going to do this to show this off because if you run...
Is he on math?
It's just at 3 times speed. I upgraded it to 3 times
He's on Molly.
Okay, so here's the battle system for you.
Alright, let's go. Oh, man.
With the way that the battle system works, it's active, meaning that there is technically like no turn-based combat. I can make it turn-based, so when I finish my turn, then it's the opponent's turn, so on and so forth. But since it's active, it means essentially as fast as I can make the fight go, that's how fast it can go. If I take a long time, it takes a long time. If I take a short amount of time, it takes a short amount of time.
Jesus, they all just jumped her. She said, fire.
And that's why I'm saying,
she barbecued the roach.
With the way that magic works in this game, you have to manually equip it with materia.
Barrett has a gun.
Yes, he has a gun for an arm.
Oh, so he's like the original Jax, kind of?
No.
I dig it. That's actually kind of dope, except for when it's time to eat, and then he just
technically he can swap it out for multiple things.
Ah.
Because in the game,
attachment on.
It's detachable, yes, because every weapon in this game, like for example, I believe I can equip that status. I can equip a different weapon, like it's an assault gun or the Gatling gun.
Shout out to Barrett, one of the founding members of the Beard Gang.
Yes, but here, oh my gosh, I'm actually surprised at how far this goes back. So I'm just going to like, I know I said I would keep like the cheats off. But
Jesus.
There really is no reason to not have the 3 times speed on unless you just want to like hurry up through the battles. The only downside is your teammates can get attacked very quickly and then you can't do anything about it.
Oh man, we got really doing Michael Jackson thriller moves. I like it.
That's how they do magic. Each character technically has like a default magic move.
Right.
And for characters' limit breaks, it's essentially when they take enough damage that they can use this.
Is that lady?
No.
You guys have to go back to a previous podcast to catch that reference right there.
For each character's like limit break, it's a super move in a sense. You have to take enough damage, and when you take enough damage, you can use it, and it gets priority over everything. Now this spot right here, this is technically somewhere you can grind early on, because you can. Cloud just straight up says, "Oh, Shinra, we should probably go back," but you can't just go up right here and attack them. So
What country is this supposed to be in?
it's a fictional country.
Okay.
It's like it's a fictional world, so like there's technically 3 continents.
Well, because they low key look like they have on like some Russian.
That's just the way they're dressed.
Right.
But they never. There's only like a few cases where the enemies are quote unquote human, and even then they're not really that human.
How did they miss? Are you allowed to like do that little defensive type things? Or?
There's defensive spells, but you can't necessarily like quote unquote like block. There is a block materia, but all it does is allow you to really like cover your teammates. So your character would take damage instead of them. So say if I gave the cover material to Cloud and Barra would be hit, Cloud would take the hit for Barra.
And what's her name? Tifa?
Tifa. Okay, so with this, you can keep fighting or you can run. I was just showing it off.
So you could have Cloud, Barrett, and Tifa.
I can't have.
Oh, you ain't even catch that. Bars.
I can. You get more characters along the way.
You want me to say it again?
No.
Think about it.
I probably won't.
You got Cloud, Barrett, and Tifa. Oh. Ah! We didn't get bad. We're still in there. We're still monetized. Let's go.
Watch it. I'd probably get someone else. Alright, so. Yeah, I just went there to show it off. To like show, I was like, oh, this is something you can do early on if you wanted to. You don't have to, but maybe it's like a little grinding sport. You can turn on God mode and just grind up like materia.
It kind of reminds me of
your level.
one movie. What was it? Suicide Squad?
Not really. If I
No,
were,
not
like
not so much, but like how they have these characters that are kind of like way out.
like they're not really like work together.
Right. Oh, what was that one chick that what is her name? She looks like she has like a typical old school Joker.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah. That's like just like some Harley Quinn, Suicide Squad, primitive version of it. I like it.
Technically, this game is. I would say this game is technically far more advanced, but at the same time, kind of primitive. Because you have a company that's able to build giant weapons and power an entire city off this one thing. But I would also say it's primitive in the sense like you have monsters running all over the place, but that's because it's a Final Fantasy game. You have enemies. I believe there's only one game where the enemies are primarily mechanical, but even then you still have like giant enemies you could face outside of like the city.
Right.
So I'm just going to turn on 3x speed so we can get out of here faster. And here we go.
What are his hands?
You can call it Popeye syndrome. Because that's what it looks like. So you technically can't go any further, but you have to do here. You have to crawl through this fence. It's too small, but there's nothing that would get stuck, so you have to go through here regardless, is the thing. And Barrett being like huge, he doesn't want to go down there, but we have to.
He said, but damn man, I can't get on down now.
The funny thing is that's not too off from his voice.
If he had anything but a voice like that, that would be insane.
Despite the way he sounds and the way he looks, he's actually.
Could you imagine if he had a crybaby type? I don't crying. Yeah, I'm like, man, shut your big self up and get down this hole, punk.
This game is old, so it's like I've heard his voice in both the movie and in the new game. Like, oh yeah, that's kind of what I expected him to sound like.
Mm-hmm. Just like when on Mortal Kombat when Jax when he was shooting, like, oh yeah.
I don't know.
No, I was like when he came out that voice, I was like, okay, this works.
I was like, yeah, it works.
It works.
Oh. And now he's putting to sleep.
What?
Sleep is a debuff. There's a multiple different types of debuffs in this game or status conditions.
Mm-hmm.
You can be an attack down, defense down. You can be put to sleep. You can be put into a berserk state.
Berserk, where you go nuts and
Like
just
you
kill people.
you could attack anyone, but you have a higher attack stat.
Right.
So berserk would be like, say if Cloud's afflicted with berserk, he attacks way harder, but he can also attack his allies. And there's a bunch of different ways you can break this game because I think someone said it best, like, no Final Fantasy game has ever not been not broken.
Uh-huh.
Where it says, like, oh, you can make these weird combinations of different materia or characters when
Broken
put together.
how?
Well, here's the thing. With this game, I obviously can turn on God mode, so by default it's already broken. I can turn it on whenever I want, is the thing, so that's what makes it that mode not broken. But say if I take damage that's more than Cloud's health, I still will technically die with Cloud. Like with that character. Like,
No, that's one thing. Since I've joined, coming on your podcast like this, it's like I'm learning. Terminology is very important. Like I said, I'm the old head in all of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm the primitive dinosaur. So there wasn't so much of lingo. It's like the thing is I'm learning the verbiage before I could even start to learn how these games, like when y'all OP and there's all these acronyms and everything for certain things. And stuff. Okay, I'm slowly picking up.
yeah. And like with this, when I mean broken, like there's three, I believe four sets of materia you can get in this game, but it's only near the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Where gosh dang it, if you master every single one of these types of materia, you get a quote unquote mastered version of the materia.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that you have all of the magic, or you have all of the commands, you have all of the
stuff.
You have basically everything. So freaking things where it's like, oh, there's two ways to go up here. Why would you do that? Is what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, oh, go this way. Now I think what they meant is that you go this way.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, this game is old, and I haven't played it in a while.
I gotta use the restroom real quick. Continue.
So, I haven't played this game in a while, but it's still something I find fun. And essentially, you get the characters coming off and going at this. But okay. More enemies, yay. Okay, this game is not that tough in the beginning, because you could just spam magic, because you have more than enough. I'm not sure if I should put Cure as all now, as I showed as a combination like the very last part of the episode of the previous one. But I might change it to where it's all lightning or all fire. Depends on my mood.
I'm back.
Hello.
Yes.
So,
What I miss?
nothing much, just got into another battle.
With some more puffer fish?
Yes, I don't know what else I would call them. So, cure all.
Oh.
I think we should just... Yep, that was enough. So, with the way I have the party set up, Barrett is technically in the back because as a ranged fighter, since he attacks from long range,
Right.
he doesn't do less damage. But say if I was to put Cloud in like the back line and have one character still in the front, Cloud would do less damage.
What is that right there?
This is a save point. I have no idea what it's supposed to reference. Some people say it's supposed to look like the save card from like the original PlayStation. Other people say it looks like a C for a checkpoint. But at this point you can save, I think this is the only way you can save when you're quote unquote in a level. And it's the only other way you can use a tent.
Tent for what?
A tent restores allies' maximum HP and mana points. You can only use that as save points or in the overworld. So you use this and it's a full heal. So with that, we are on our mission to blow up another reactor in a video game.
And we will be back.
Next time, I am Omega Zero.
I am Late Night CJ, aka Sweet Daddy in the streets.
I will catch you guys later.
Dudes.